the 19 men to have captained their country to victory at a FIFA World Cup, 5 were Brazilian. The first of that quintet was Hilderado Bellini in Sweden in 1958. 4 years later, Mauro Ramos lifted the Jules Rimet Trophy for the Selecao in Chile. And in 1970, the honour fell to Carlos Alberto Torres.
It gave me great happiness, and it was a huge honour to lift the World Cup trophy on behalf of my national team. That trophy would stay with Brazil after that. I was really young, just 25 years old, so I'm still the youngest captain ever to have lifted the World Cup trophy.
The 1970 tournament was Carlos Alberto's one and only FIFA World Cup. He'd been a surprise omission from the squad that had travelled to England in 1966, when Brazil were eliminated in the group stage following successive 3-1 defeats to Hungary and Portugal. It was a humbling experience, but one the Brazilians learnt a great deal from.
We did some interesting work in the build-up to 1970, because in 1966, at the World Cup in England, we were caught out by the so-called power football. That was why Brazil failed to win the 1966 tournament. Although I don't want to take anything away from the other teams, especially the England team that won that World Cup. It was a good lesson for us, as 4 years later we prepared physically in Brazil. We spent 3 months preparing for that World Cup. We knew that we had two enemies, power football and the altitude in Mexico. So if we were well prepared physically, we knew we had the technical ability to at least reach the World Cup final. Winning it was an altogether different proposition.
Not only did they win it in style, beginning with a 4-1 demolition of Czechoslovakia in Guadalajara. Next up, a hard-fought 1-0 victory over the defending champions England, a match often remembered for Gordon Banks' world-class save. One goal decided it, Tostao to Pele, Pele to Jairzinho, and Banks was finally beaten. Two goals from Pele helped Brazil defeat Romania in their final group game to set up a quarter-final tie with Peru. Tostao was the hero on this occasion, first setting up Rivellino for the opening goal before twice finding the net himself. Brazil were through to the last 4, where their opponents would again be South American. Despite conceding the first goal of the game against Uruguay, Brazil eased into the final after Clodoaldo, Jairzinho and Rivellino all found the net. The scoreline went some way to making up for Brazil's 2-1 defeat to Uruguay at the 1950 FIFA World Cup. Only Italy could now deny the Brazilians a third world title. Playing their first match of the tournament outside of Guadalajara, Brazil took the lead in the cavernous Azteca Stadium in Mexico City. Italy would equalise before the interval, but the second half belonged to the Selecao. Goals from Gerson and Jairzinho put them 3-1 ahead before the captain rounded off an impressive victory with an unforgettable strike.
Everybody remembers that goal. Wherever I go in the world, people remember it, because it was the last goal of a beautiful campaign for Brazil. For a Brazilian team that people still remember today. A team viewed by many as the best national side of all time. And for me in particular, who was fortunate enough to score that goal, I'm very happy about it. But we mustn't forget the build-up, because it wasn't just about me scoring the goal. It was the whole move, the way we passed the ball and moved forward. At the time, we were winning 3-1 and there were just 3 minutes to play. When Tostao got the ball, he could have passed it back to the goalkeeper to kill some time. But no, we regained possession and moved forward. That was one of the virtues of that team. We were a side that always played with the objective of attacking the opposition's goal.
All but 2 of Brazil's outfield players had a touch of the ball in that memorable move, which ended with the Selecao's 19th goal of the tournament. An impressive haul for a very impressive team.
That was the first and only time in the history of the World Cup that a team won all of its qualifying matches, as well as all of its games at the World Cup. We didn't even draw a match. We won every game.
And shortly after the final whistle, Carlos Alberto got his hands on the Jules Rimet trophy, which was now Brazil's for keeps. At just 25, the defender had experienced the pinnacle of any player's career. And although he never reappeared on the game's greatest stage, he did enjoy many successful seasons with leading clubs at home and abroad.
I think I had a beautiful career in football. I played for some great clubs in Brazil. I played for Santos, which was the best team in the world at the time, with Pele, Zito, Mauro, Doval, Gilmar, Coutinho and Pepe. I also played for Fluminense. After I finished my career in Brazil, not for good, just in Brazil, I had the opportunity to be part of the development of football in the USA. Pele suggested my name, and I went to help the Cosmos win several championships, and also to help establish what is now a very strong football scene in the United States of America.
Today, the New York Cosmos are back in business, and Carlos Alberto is an international ambassador for the North American Soccer League club. They're doing very well, but how they wish the Brazilian was a few years younger and still able to produce the magic of the 1970s.